welcome to another game of War Machine. I'm Lightem'up, back with another battle report. I got Retribution today versus my Skorne. My buddy was playing his Retribution list. This is before they released the theme list, so even though this would probably fit into a theme list, all except for Eiryss, this is not the theme. But he's playing Adeptis Rahn with a Chimera, Phoenix, Moros, and Hypnos for his battle group. He's got all three Arcanists that he can bring for the mechanics and extra focus shenanigans. The House Shyeel Artificer, which is Mega Mittens, House Shyeel Magisters, which are the Big Mittens, and then House Shyeel Battle Mages, 2 full units of those, which are the Little Mittens. So he's got all the mittens that he can fit into the list, and then Eiryss 2 on top, Eiryss 1 on top of that for some assassination potential. So he's playing a big assassination list. Moros with the Bond, and then Adeptis Rahn with his telekinesis abilities. Can really get a lot of assassinations on your casters. Good to watch out for. Playing into him today is my Mordikaar list. This is from my ADR pair, Mordikaar and Zadesh. So I ADR'd out the Ferox and some other stuff, ADR'd out the Gladiator. So this is just a Despoiler and a Titan Sentry, Void Spirit, Willbreaker, Tyrant Rhadeim, Tycom, max unit of Beast Handlers, max unit of Cataphract Cetraii with Tyrant Vorkesh, and a max unit of Keltarii. I am considering pulling the Keltarii out for the Ferox, although with the errata just dropping today, I might have to rethink that because speed 7 Keltarii are pretty nice. So I am recording this the day of the Skorne errata, and I'll talk about my thoughts about that later. For this potential matchup, the idea here is I'm going to try to hold down the top zone with my Cetraii, breaking up there since Vorkesh gives them Spell Ward. His Battle Mittens won't be able to do squat to them. And then I plan on taking the bottom to contest that with the Sentry and push everything else right up the center, and hopefully use the Void Spirits to kill off all of his infantry and use my Despoiler to kill off his jacks, or at least give a lot of damage, extra damage to the jacks. Rhadeim in there with his Armor Pierce can put out a lot of damage on his own also, so we'll see how that goes. And on to the game. So I actually won the roll and decided to go first, and my opponent gave me the side with a lot of rough terrain on my side of the board. Not a huge problem. I do have Ghostwalk for my battle group, and I've got Tycom in there for Pathfinder for one of my units, although I would prefer to be using him for the push to the limit with the +2 speed on Shield Wall, but if I have to Pathfinder, I have to Pathfinder. This particular game, right now, all the Cetraii are just running up. The Tycom gave Pathfinder to the Keltarii this turn, so they could run 12 inches. If I replay this, it'd be 14 inches, thanks to the errata. Thank you. But he just gave them all Pathfinder. You'll see my Void Spirit is the single model up there in the top woods, sitting all by himself, getting that concealment bonus. The Willbreaker gave Tough to the Keltarii, and then Mordikaar put Hollow on the Keltarii. So if they don't Tough, he gets a soul. If they do Tough, yay for me. Everything else just moved up, and we are on to my opponent's turn. So my opponent, he has 3 arc nodes in his list. Out of his 4 jacks, 3 of them are arc nodes, so he has a lot of different angles, I guess you would say, that he can look at. Having a 16-inch control range is already deadly enough, so he will have a lot of angles that I will have to keep an eye out for. All he needs to do, and I've seen it happen a few times to myself and other people, is he can TK your caster around, TK other stuff around, especially like shield guards, get them out of range for shield guarding, and then shoot you with Eiryss. And then pretty much just 1 or 2 shots will probably kill most casters, especially a 15-15 caster like Mordikaar. So for this one right now, he is firing off some chain blasts into my Keltarii. I believe this is the 2nd deviation. Did toughed one guy on the first chain, and then did not kill anyone. Ended up killing that same guy when he was knocked down on the 2nd blast. Other than that, I think he did kill 2 actually. Yeah, he killed 2. So I got 2 souls, which is not a big deal for me. Mordikaar doesn't mind losing a couple of the guys he doesn't care about. The Keltarii are almost completely in there just to jam. and give Mordikaar the souls he needs to do Essence Blasts whenever he needs to do that. He measures out... I think he was measuring out threat range there, but I'm not sure. He actually ends up, when he flips the clock, I'm looking at it, and he ends up putting his House Shyeel Artificer, the Mega Mittens, puts him just close enough that Despoiler can run even without Enrage, or without Rush, since I don't have a Gladiator. He can run to get within 5 inches of him. And then I am pretty sure Rhadeim will be able to take him out, giving me that sweet Void Spirit in the middle of all of his dudes. You'll see on my little widget there, I wrote down the order of activations I needed everything to go in so that I wouldn't forget. Pro tip, do that. It helps you not forget. It's a good thing too, because I glanced at it a couple times and remembered, oh wait, yeah, I need to do this first. So right now I just got the Keltarii moving out of the way, giving the Despoiler the room he needs to run. Mordikaar is going to cast Ghost Walk and pop his feet and then walk into the rubble there so that he has +7 defense against range and magic this turn. Then Despoiler runs into place, and Rhadeim went ahead and did a walk and leap, and then armor pierced. And thanks to the armor pierce, I rolled high enough to pop out a Void Spirit from the dead Artificer. So the Void Spirit is going to go ahead, come around here, and he's going to activate and start munching through these battle mages. The most you can get, I mean, as many as you can get as possible is what you want. Obviously, he has the ability to munch through the entire group. He was unable to get the entire group there. I decided I wanted to try to get across that forest to kill the second group across the way. So when I killed the last guy that I killed on the south side of the forest, I teleported over because I wasn't going to be able to do the overtake to kill off the other 3 members of that unit. And then when I got over on that other side of the forest, I killed one guy and the Magister. I missed the Magister, so that sucks. I needed like a 7 or something. I rolled a 5. So, but Void Spirit did his job, and now he's sitting there being annoying. He is corporeal, so he can make free strikes. The Cetraii move up into the zone, this time under shield wall with Pathfinder from the Tycom, and then they get tough from the Willbreaker this turn. So we're on to my feet turn. When you're playing against Adeptis Rahn, the main thing to look out for is that telekinesis assassination. I tried to get my Sentry. I probably should have put him a little bit closer to Mordikaar. Right now, Mordikaar is 1 TK away from being out of range of the Sentry. Making him do 2 TKs is definitely worth it. If you can get that done, make him do 2 TKs to get you out of shield guard range. Fortunately for me, I do have that +7 defense, so I'm sitting at defense 22, I believe, against ranged and magic attacks. And then right now we were just going over who gets pushed back if he misses, and it ends up that the caster would end up getting pushed back even though he's arcing through someone. If the arc node got pushed back, that'd be really awesome. So we're going through that right now. Ron gets pushed back for missing his first attempt, gets pushed back for missing his second, pushed back a third time for missing his third. And it is a really good thing this is not a kill box scenario, or else I would just win automatically pretty much. He would be giving me 2 points at the end of this turn. But it's not a kill box, so he can be as close to that ball as he wants to be. He did pop his feet, although some of the battle mages, I believe most of the battle mages at the top will not be in the feet. I don't know, we'll see after we get done with the movements. Right now he is moving his, I believe it is his Phoenix at the bottom of the map to toe the zone. He's got Moros a little bit deeper into that zone, being a threatening piece. And the Chimera was the one he was arcing through. At the top, he went to work with Hypnos. I believe that was Hypnos at the top. Maybe he's flip-flopping the two, maybe Hypnos at the bottom and Phoenix at the top. I'm not 100% sure. Looks like the guy at the top has the big sword, so it's probably him. Yeah, and that was, because he set him on fire. He set my Rhadeim on fire. Alright, so yeah, that was Rhadeim actually got a pushback and a dodge thanks to his Jack missing. So that was nice. And then the battle mages were going to go, and they were able to pull Rhadeim back around a little bit. Unfortunately, they pulled him into combat. So when they missed, Rhadeim moved over. They were able to dismount him though on the next hit, and then so Rhadeim's defense drops, but he is still engaged and under my feet. And then the battle mages at the top are going to go. So I do have a Void Spirit sitting in that forest up there. He is within range that he could charge anything that's in the zone. But he figures he's got 5 chances at rolling the 14 I believe he needs. And most of them are going to be underneath Ron's feet. So he's going to just go ahead and attempt to do it. And thanks to my feat, Ron is unable to kill my Void Spirit or pull that Void Spirit out of that forest. Doing a couple more cleanup attacks. The Phoenix, I believe it was, or Hypnos, whichever it was, went into Despoiler and failed to kill the Despoiler. Left him on quite a few boxes actually. I believe it took out his mind, so I'll have to heal him up a little bit. But other than that, at the top, the Void Spirit that was in my list initially gets to live the dream. And he goes and munches, and there goes 3 and 4 and 5 battle mittens. And then he will hop over and annihilate the mega mittens, and his turn will be done. So that Void Spirit definitely earned back his points. He killed off that entire unit essentially, plus a 4-point solo, leaving just one battle mage over there, and that's the super battle mage, the Magister or whatever it is. And then there's 3 battle mages in between, or on the other side of that forest. So Void Spirit's getting work done this turn, this game. Right now you got the Beast Handlers went up, and a couple of them are healing the Despoiler. One of them is enraging Despoiler, and one of them is getting in the way of my Sentry. I misplaced his movement there. So Sentry's gonna won't be able to get quite as far over than one of them too. Despoiler moves over and starts beating on his heavy warjack and ends up destroying his heavy warjack, and then with his last fury point puts a few points of damage, actually quite a lot of damage, into the Chimera there. The Sentry was hit with the gun from Moros, I believe, paralyzing him, making it to where he can't run or charge. So the Sentry won't be able to get to Moros this turn. He's only going to be able to walk 4 inches. Mordikaar will eventually be going, but right now I've got the Keltarii going up on his other heavy jack at the top, along with Rhadeim doing his armor piercing attack, doing a lot of damage to the jack at the top, but not enough to really do any systems damage, just taking out his shield. And then we're on to my Cetraii. Considered doing a charge, but with the way things are going, I decided that shield wall, playing it safe, was the best way to go. So I went ahead and shield walled and got 2 Cetraii that were able to attack, or sorry, 1 Cetraii that was able to attack into the heavy at the top, did a few points of damage, more damage to him. Mordikaar is going to go now, and he's going to cast Ghost Walk, camp a ton of fury, and move over to that forest. Ghost Walk allows the Sentry to walk out of the rubble with no problems, and go up and start beating on his Chimera, and unfortunately leave that Chimera on 1 box. So right now everything's going great. The attrition, which is what I was shooting for, is working out well in my favor. He's got 1 heavy left that is somewhat damaged, 1 light that is untouched, 1 light that is almost dead, and then a smattering of infantry models that I'm not really too concerned about. When I posted Mordikaar there in the middle of the board, after I moved him, I realized I probably should have just walked backwards with him. Keeping him even behind the forest probably would have been a better idea than in the forest. You still, you want to make sure you don't have him in range. When you're dealing with a TK caster, TK casters can get a lot of work done with telekinesis. And he still has Eiryss on the board, so there's still deaths that he could, or assassinations that he could engineer. So that was just a bad move on my part. He did spend a few minutes at the beginning of his turn trying to decide if he could get the assassination off. And I'm not sure if at this point he has decided whether or not he could or not. You see, he was able to free up his jack at the bottom from all but the 1 Cetraii, I believe, doing the combust. And then he moved Moros over to attack Despoiler, taking Despoiler down to just a few boxes on the charge attack. And then I believe he left him on 2 or 3 boxes, so the Despoiler's still around. And then, yeah, he left him on like 2 boxes, and then I think Yeah, Ron's going to come up and Ron's going to finish him off here in a minute, I believe. Yeah, so he's going to go up and he's going to do a Force Hammer. Did not boost, ended up missing due to being engaged, and ended up killing his own model there, one of his jacks, finishing it off. He does do a second time, I believe. Actually, I don't know if he did Force Hammer or something else, but he ended up killing his own jack, and then he TK'd his other jack out of the zone, which is going to give me a point on his turn. I don't think he realized that I was already at 1, so this is going to bring me to 2, and then next turn, pretty much just got to clear both zones. So we'll see how that goes. Then all I had to do was kill, I believe, 1 model, and that will give me the control points needed to win. So I scored one control point last turn. Or sorry, it won't give me the control points needed to win. I scored 1 control point last turn, and then I'll get 1 on his turn to bring me to 2, and this is going to bring me to 3 in the bottom zone, and then all I got to do is walk into the top zone with Mordikaar, and it'll be 4 and 5 for dominating. Sorry, walk into the bottom zone with Mordikaar. So I got 1 control point on my turn, 1 control point on his turn, 3rd control point on the top zone on my turn, and a 4th and 5th on the bottom zone on my turn. So it'll be a Skorne victory. This was a good game for Mordikaar, definitely. I think playing against, obviously having an ADR access was nice. Seeing that he was going to play Ron, I was able to switch out my Ferox for my spell immune Cetraii, and that's always a bonus. I think I was trying to test out Mordikaar into a control caster. Ron is probably the 2nd best control caster in the game besides Halo 2. My opponent was playing Ron for the first time ever, I believe, so that was a benefit for me, obviously. I'll get a couple more games in against the more experienced Ron player, and we'll see if he still holds up to it. As for the overall Skorne errata, I am extremely happy with it. I think they did a wonderful job. My buddy was hoping that they would turn it to just 11 and just crank it up to where everyone would bandwagon jump onto Skorne, which I would have been okay with too, but at least at this point I think they did minor enough changes that I won't have to worry about them nerfing anything in the future that they've changed so far. My lists, for the most part, are going to stay the same. Most of them just got better. I will have to do a little more in-depth, though, coming up. For anything else, hopefully I'll see you guys in a couple weeks at the LVO. If not, I will see you all next week with another battle report. Have a good day, and see you all later. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And subscribe to my Facebook page if you want to see any specific reports. If you got requests for any type of battles, let me know, and I will try to get them on the channel. Have a good one, guys.